What is up, and welcome into the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I'm your host, Ezra McCann, and I'm joined, as always, by my outstanding co-host. He's a Chicago Public League legend. He's a Simeon legend. He's a Grambling State legend. He played second base for the Tigers back in the day. He was all SWAC. He is none other than Brandon Williams, a.k.a. Coach Smoke. And we've got our NFL draft analyst, enthusiast, know-it-all, and in a good way. He is Glenn Morgan. He is our GM. And gentlemen, I don't know about you guys, man, but I'm in an outstanding mood. My football team won tonight. The Toronto Argonauts are the Grey Cup champions, beating the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
He's just a front runner, man.
41-24. Yes, sir.
Just a front runner. The Argonauts were like the odds-on favorite to win it, like for the last several years.
But, I've trended towards the Argonauts, but you might catch me with a Eskimos hat on every once in a while. Yes, I got a sweatshirt too of the Eskimos. You might catch me with the Hamilton Tiger Cats on, because that's just how I roll, man. I like the CFL. But yeah, congratulations to the Toronto Argonauts. And then here at the home front, it wasn't as
that's our show. All good. Glad you guys joined us. We'll leave on that positive note. Great show.
The Bears lost to the Packers 20-19. If you didn't see, they had a chance to kick a game-winning field goal. As time expired, and the kick was blocked. So we're now at 4-6. I think playoffs are, even mathematically, technically, they're still in it. I mean, mathematically, but yeah, I think this season is pretty much done. The only thing that matters now is just developing your generational quarterback.
Yeah, man, you make me vomit when you keep saying that stuff, man.
He actually didn't have a bad day. He didn't have a bad day today. He actually looked pretty good.
It's nothing to do with him. It's just the word generational being applied to him. That's the thing's gonna make me vomit.
Let's start with the final play, or the play leading up to the final play. I think everyone's talking about Eberflus not running a play with I think you had
30 seconds left.
31 seconds on the clock. You had one timeout in your pocket. You're at the 32-yard line. You could have gone and got some extra yardage. What do you guys think about that? Was that the wrong call, or?
Of course, who doesn't do that? Dude, yes, it was super the wrong. Bro, you had them on their heels. You could have gotten to the line and done a hurry-up offense and done a number of things because they were on their heels. I'll tell you what was smart, though. What was smart was when LaFleur challenged the call, because it actually slowed everything down, and then the Bears fed right into that, and then they started playing slow and careful to not lose the game. Because he challenged the call from, I think, Allen, right?
Keenan Allen, yeah.
Right, which was more of a catch than the one that Watson.
Well, he didn't call. No, he didn't call. That came from the booth.
That did come.
That's a booth.
Yeah,
review.
it was.
Okay, well, then the booth screwed us, because that made Eberflus and the Bear organization or Bear coaching staff just slow down, because after that they had time to think about it. They shouldn't have been thinking. Should just got to the line. Obviously, because of that, they couldn't get to the line and keep the hurry part going. But they just played right into being careful right after that. And almost every time they try to be careful, when they should be pressing their advantage, they lose. Or they allow the other team to snatch victory. Well, I guess it's the same thing as losing. But I mean, they contribute to their own self-destruction, so to speak. And the same thing happened here. 30 seconds. How do you just sit there and watch that tick away? And you expect that from a 40-plus, a 45-yard or so field goal, that you're expecting that to go through? There are kickers that miss extra points nowadays because they're about 35-yard long or whatever. Why? And the further away you are to kick a field goal, the lower your trajectory. So just think if you got an extra 5 yards, that might have been the difference between that hand tipping the ball and you getting it between the goalposts. It's just ridiculous. Like, why wouldn't you? I understand you may not want to pass the ball because that could lead to a sack. It could lead to a number of several other things. But dude, you could do a better job of running the ball than what you did, and then you could run it again. I mean,
But what if you fumble?
Mm-hmm.
What if you fumble? I mean, look, with the
no,
Bears, GM, with the
no,
Bears,
no. You're
I
professionals. No, no, bullshit.
just
No, I scream bullshit. You
no.
know, you know they come at you for the ball, so you hand the ball off. You can't with two hands. You get yards you can, and you get as many yards as you can. I mean, we're
Right,
the only team that says you know what? We could fumble. Let's just not do it. Let 30
hey,
seconds tick
No,
off.
we're not. That's
Make
not
an
no,
true.
no, I'm not
extremely
saying that.
That's
long
not
field
true.
goal.
That's not
They did
true.
the same thing when they lost. It's the same universal playbook that cost them when they played Philadelphia in the playoffs. So
but I'm
trying to get
saying,
closer, you're gonna settle for a 45-plus-yard field goal.
Actually, that was a 41-yarder.
A 40-plus
That
yard,
that
whatever.
that for a professional kicker
No,
should
exactly,
be
and that's
automatic.
no,
Now
no.
in this situation, it wasn't Carlos Santos. What is his name?
Yeah, Cairo Santos.
Cairo
Cairo.
Santos. Cairo. It wasn't Cairo's fault on that.
I'm not blaming him, and I'm not even gonna blame
They
whatever the kicker
shot
was. Marking.
the Packers found a advantage. They shot that a-hole. They got the block. Here's the deal. You got a generational quarterback.
Sorry.
He takes you on a very good final drive there. All right. Started at the 25-yard line. All right. What happened on that drive? What happened on first down?
that.
What happened on second down?
That.
All right.
Yeah.
Now he got you a very nice throw to Roma Dunze on third and 19 to get you to 4th and 2. And then what was fourth and 2? And then fourth and 3, whatever it was. And then another completion to make a first down in there to Rome. All right. Keeps the drive going, gets the pass down to Keenan Allen. All right. Now, he got you where you need to be. Right? This is about putting confidence into your quarterback. He got you where you need to be. Let that be. I agree 100% with what Eberflus did there. I know I'm going to get dragged for this, and I don't care.
And to be fair, they ran the ball.
They did run the ball again. He did. It's not like wait. It's not. They gave the ball to Swift, and it's not like Swift just went down.
No, it was Roshan.
Or Roshan, whatever. Yeah. It wasn't like he just slid down.
What are you trying to tell me? That with 30 seconds you should just do nothing? That you can't run another play? And
okay,
did you not just lead him and saying you got a timeout in your pocket? You got a timeout in your pocket.
If he takes another sack, you're out of field goal range. Then what do you do?
I said run the ball. How is that equating to a sack, Ezra?
But what if it gets
what if
yeah.
What if I trip over the curb when I walk across the street tomorrow? I might just get hit by a car or a bicycle or one of those damn mopeds that people ride. Or I could be, a man, step confidently in the street, get in my car and go about my business.
You give it to your Pro Bowl caliber kicker. He's supposed to make that happen. I'm sorry.
No. You help him out. What is wrong with trying to improve? I swear to God, dude. Just watch the rest of the NFL from either at the half or towards the end of games when teams are trying to get in field goal position. They press the advantage to get as close as they possibly can. You cannot tell me you recall last time somebody just let 30 seconds tick off when you have it's a first down. I can say if it was second or third down, it's first fucking down.
Well,
and you have a timeout in hand.
No, it was second down.
Whatever. I still see people with no timeouts still press their advantage because you know what you can do? You can down the ball. So you don't lose any more time on the clock. They were 30 freaking seconds. And get closer. Why are you settling? You were pressing advantage. Get closer. Get closer. Dude,
I
I've
mean,
seen it so many times with this team where they settle for a long ass field goal and then go, "Oh man, we didn't make the field goal. Well, the quarterback did the best he could. The kicker, he's supposed to be a professional."
And
Dude,
I've seen them hit game winners.
I'm not saying you can't hit a game winner. I'm saying help them. Help me help you win
No,
better.
I understand what you're
Why
saying.
do I want to make it more difficult
I'm
for
just
you?
saying I didn't have that issue with what they did.
Dude, I lost my mind at the bowling alley. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Why are you letting the time tick away? Get closer. And as soon as they didn't, I was like, here we go again. Watch us lose this effing game because somehow or the other we didn't get closer. Either it's going to go wide right or something weird. Oh, look at that! Guy burst through and got two fingertips on it, and it fell short.
that was going,
Shocker!
but Glenn, that was gonna happen if we got closer.
Yeah,
No,
but
no,
they weren't going to win that game
no.
regardless.
It was gonna happen if we
Let's
got
be real.
closer.
Let's be
No, I
That's the
don't
real.
buy
thing.
that.
That's
No,
what
no,
I'm.
no, no, and no. I'm gonna say no in 4 different languages. No in English, no in Spanish, yet in Russian, and 9 in Germany. No, because when you get closer, your trajectory can go higher. You don't have to kick as low to get as far. With the further away you are, the lower your trajectory. When you're kicking from 45 on back, you have a lower trajectory. And a lot of times, those are the ones that tend to get blocked because your trajectory is lower. So you can get some big ass Paul to come through and tip it, knock it, or whatever. If you get to if it's a 35-yard field goal, if it's a 40-yard, if he's 5 yards closer, that's 5 yards or whatever angularity it is. It's a different. He may have just gotten over his hands, and he wouldn't have to travel as far even if he did tip it. No, I don't buy that. I've seen too much of this over the years. It was just you it's just the same thing Eberflus has been doing for the last 2 years. The first year I can't blame us for not winning games. We were a talentless team. Last year, 3 games we should have won. We had 90% chance of winning, and we found ways to lose those games by being too cautious, careful, or whatever. And here we are, Washington game. He's being cautious again, and hey, it's 15 yards doesn't mean nothing, blah, blah, blah. I can't completely blame him because the player or players didn't execute as well as they could have. But why allow that? Why not have Edwards put more pressure on him instead of playing like Jayden's going to run 90 yards?
That is on him. The Washington game is on him.
This is on him too. Dude, if you had 15 seconds left,
I understand, Glenn. I understand.
That's
I understand.
30
I understand what you're
you
saying.
You can run 2
I
plays
understand what you're
in
saying.
30
I'm just saying
seconds,
it's
man.
not. I don't have that much of an issue with it. That's all I'm saying.
I get the whole we could have got closer, and that caused him to kick low. I don't buy that aspect of it though.
No, the guy.
I've watched Cairo make many a kicks, and he don't kick that short, that low from that distance. 50 yards plus, maybe so. But man, he nutted up. He nutted up.
Who?
Cairo.
No, I don't think the guy
was low as
he
hell.
got through.
He made a 53-yarder earlier.
And
Pat Manley.
He kicked that ball super low.
Pat Manley on the score said the issue was he saw it during the entire game. He said that they were getting pushed on the left side, and he said that usually when you're kicking from the left hash, you usually rush from the right side. And on this one, they saw something. They saw something on that left side, and that's why they shot that A gap and they got there. They made a play. That's all that happened. Who knows? Shit. If they did get the 5 yards, extra yards, 10 extra yards, the same thing could happen. Who's to say?
He's not. I'm to say. I'm to say because he's not going to kick it with that lower trajectory. That's just what kickers do. That's like, I don't even know how to say. That's just like standard. It's like standard operating procedure for kickers.
Okay. So every time a kicker kicks from that length, it gets blocked.
I did not say every time. I'm saying you increase the likelihood or the chances with the further away you are. Those are the ones that tend to be blocked more so than not.
Yes, and it could have been the same thing could have happened 5 yards closer. It's possible.
So he came through and he completely knocked it down, or he got a hand. He barely got a hand on it. Which was it?
He barely got a hand on it.
I mean, he got 5 yards difference made the trajectory a little bit different. Definitely 10 yards would have made a difference to where he doesn't get his hand on it.
Maybe he shoots that A gap again and gets it.
Yeah, but you know what? At that point in time, I feel like you did everything you could do. Not sat there and watched 30 seconds so you could settle for a 40 fucking plus yard field goal. I'm so sick of this crap, dude. I get so upset with them because it's like I can't even put it in words. Like, I can't believe you're trying to lose because your jobs are on the line. But I can't believe you're this goofy that you can't figure out better ways to try and win when it's right there for you. Like, nah, I'm good. It's all right. We don't need extra more yards. We're just gonna take this field goal because 40 plus yards is guaranteed in any football game. No,
damn near for the Bears. We don't score touchdowns unless we're running them. So shit, he's the one scoring all the points for us.
yes. So let's help him. Why make it harder on the guy? so let him wear that. So he gets to wear that on his neck until next week. He gets to wear that loss. I mean, that's what I'm saying, dude. It's such bullshit sometimes. I know he won't be scapegoated, but you know he's gonna feel like, man, dude, if I could have kicked it a little higher. So he gets to play with that in his head. So in the land of what if, since you guys what if my ass early on, in the lands of what if, since he missed his field goal, what if his confidence is shaking now? And now all of a sudden he starts missing long field goals.
Stop it.
How do you know? It could be. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. Yeah. Because that's worked so well for us over the years. Here's the thing. Eberflus was playing after the Washington debacle. He was playing the Washington game in his head the next week. So that's when that first half ended. He had him pull back so that he wouldn't throw another Hail Mary on him. And the guy ran for 60 yards.
By the way, Cairo Santos, what do you think is average field goal yardage wise? What's his average this season?
This season?
Yeah.
Probably 46.
44.
And look, dude, it wasn't a matter of accuracy.
Before that, he missed one, and that was from 50 plus.
Wait, didn't he miss one? Didn't he miss a key kick this season?
Against the Colts, I think it was indoors. They tried to go,
and we was like that was right at the edge of his range, and he missed it.
Yeah. See, that was the one. That was the one he missed from 50 plus.
They made sure they got comfortably in his range. Oh yes, Glenn. Yes,
he had hit from 56 during pregame.
They could have got more. Yes, we know that. But at the end of the day, hey, look.
So y'all okay with 30 seconds stick away? You're okay with 30 seconds?
I'm okay with it.
I was fine.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay.
Fine.
Right,
and I'm gonna tell you why I'm okay with it. Because at this point, we are clearly in his range. We are well into his range. At this point, any play we run after this, we run the risk of being out of his range or even turning the ball over. We run that risk. We're perfectly in his range for him to make a kick.
Isn't every hike a risk? I mean, come on, man.
Yeah,
are we playing scared now? So we're playing scared now. We're not going to be
that's not playing scared.
We're 4
I don't
and
think
5.
that was playing scared.
Dude, I'm not saying get into a shotgun and run from the shotgun. Get underneath center and hand the freaking ball off. We can't do that.
You can, but you also can turn the ball over too in that situation.
And you also can get some positive yards too and help your kicker out.
You're right. Just like you can make the kick or you can get the click block. All these things can happen. All these things can happen.
Okay. All right. I agree to disagree.
I mean, look, this was one of the instances where.
So you okay with 20-19 loss?
No, nobody said that. No.
I'm asking.
No, I'm not. You know why I'm not? I'm gonna tell you why I'm not. I'm not okay with it. Well, you know what? I am okay with it because you are most Bears fans right now, which how Bears fans should be. Still mad at Eberflus because for the most part of that game, Eberflus was saving his ass, and it was looking like, oh, the Bears done fixed something, and it was false hope. So yes, us missing that kick was perfect because now Bears fans' eyes are still where they should be. He needs to go. That's why I'm okay with it. It has nothing to do with it being a close game or none of that. Because I was praying we didn't win that game, because if we won, everyone was going to think, oh, just like people saying, man, Thomas Brown, man, that was the same goddamn offense. The same offense. They
No,
just
there were things. There
executed
were
better.
things. There were things they done differently. You could tell they told him, "Don't run to try and pass, run upfield."
Yeah, and that's what I
Yeah.
told. I said no. They got on. They told him to. They
Take it upfield.
emphasized take
Yes.
the check
Take
down and take
whatever.
off
Yeah.
running.
Yeah.
They
If
they
they're
did
gonna give you 6, 7, 8 yards,
take it.
Take
take
it
it.
upfield.
Yeah.
And then they
But
they
Definitely
but the
did.
play, but the plays was the same.
I think they short.
We saw the same play that Keenan Allen whiffed on the block last week. He made the block this week, and DJ Moore got positive
Well, let's
yards.
be real. They weren't going to 100%
Completely change. No.
turn the entire playbook
I
around.
know,
No.
I know, but that's why that's why I'm like the jury is still out on this.
No.
I felt like Green Bay didn't really respect us. They
No.
didn't even blitz. That shit was
No.
tweaking me out.
But they did
They
blitz a
blitzed in
couple of
the
times.
end.
They blitzed and where I
They
saw
was
they
sending
didn't
forward
they
most.
didn't respect us was they went for it on
Inside the
it's-
5 yard
yeah,
line,
yeah,
just 10 yard line. So they're kicking a
yeah,
field goal.
yeah. On
And it
14,
was
they did that twice.
and that was like a long,
It's a
like
long
what was
fourth
they
down.
Yeah,
Fourth and
yeah.
goal.
at the
That's how I
like
was like, man, they don't respect
5
you
or
guys
6
at
yard line or
all.
something.
And the Bears held, so good for them. But nah, you got to give it to them. In a week full of turmoil, uh, an offensive coordinator gets canned. Uh,
Talks of benching your quarterback,
yes,
but
yes,
mutinous talk of benching your quarterback.
yes.
So, so somehow Captain Bly was being challenged.
Head coach sounded like he doesn't know what's going on.
Sounds like it. He doesn't.
Almost, they showed up today. You gotta give them that credit. Now that said, there's no moral victories in the NFL. You still lost to our number one our hated rival.
And Matt LaFleur is 11-0 against the Bears.
Is he?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jordan Love is 3-0.
No. Jordan
Wait,
Love
we
is
haven't
5-0.
we haven't
He's
beaten the
5-0?
Packers
No,
since
no,
Mike
you're
McCarthy.
right. You're right. 3-0.
That can't be.
He's due. He came into the game 10-0.
I know they've won the last 10, obviously.
He's never lost.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur hasn't lost to the Bears.
Damn.
And Mike McCarthy, because what?
So the last win.
Matt LaFleur is in what, year 4?
So the last win was 2018.
5.
Year 5
or 6. I think he's in year 6.
So the whole, so yeah.
I know the entire Bears roster. No one on the Bears roster has beaten the Packers before.
Damn, not even nobody we traded for.
No, well, that'd have been in a Bears uniform.
Oh, okay. Because I'm about to say, shit, that's even.
But
crazy.
even then, I don't know. Shit. Well, I don't know if Keenan Allen's beating the Packers. He was in the AFC, so they probably only played him. He probably played him a couple times.
Don't believe DJ beat him.
No, no.
Yeah, the only one would have been the brother from the other tight end with the Rams, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's about Mercedes Lewis?
No.
Well, he's had to have beaten the Packers at some point.
Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
He had to. I know he played there, so that took some years off. He's had to have beaten the Packers.
Maybe not. Jacksonville doesn't play that often.
TJ Edwards, maybe.
Well, he hasn't been in the league that long.
But TJ Edwards was on the Super Bowl team, right? But not the winning team, but the Super Bowl team for the Eagles. Yeah. They didn't play Green Bay that season.
I don't know.
Could have lost. Could have played Green Bay and lost.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they've had bad quarterbacks. They've had competent quarterbacks that can win.
They just tied this game up.
Did they really?
Wow. How did that happen? I swear to God, we were just starting. So we got the Chargers Bengals game on.
27-6 when we started.
It was
But
it was 27-6
but it was
when
they
we
scored
started.
on that fourth down play, which quickly made it 27-13.
That's crazy. I love this game, man. I really do. Oh, poor Harbaugh. Anyway,
Yeah, but back to it.
so yeah. Is there any way that Eberflus can salvage this in any way?
What do you mean salvage? You mean
Keep
get
his
a winning
job.
record?
Yeah, yeah.
No, he's fired. He was fired after once he fired his OC, he was gone.
Shit.
Think he knows
You
that?
think if they would have won today that he'd be fired still?
Yes.
I don't know.
Thomas, here's the thing. Thomas Brown they'd have to go, they had 8 remaining games?
Yeah.
He'd have to go 6-2 at best. At best. Anything above 6-2, then yes, he may be able to retain his job. But and then there's ways in how you win too. Are you making all the right calls? Are you not letting 30 seconds tick off when you get closer?
Shit, in Chicago, it's ways in how you lose too. Shoot, they gonna think, look, it's competitive. Everybody thought we was gonna get our ass whooped, and it was competitive today.
Yeah, well,
if they can go 0 for the division competitively,
you have to play Detroit twice,
right?
Green Bay now, and Minnesota twice, and then Seattle and San Francisco.
If you can keep the game with Detroit within a touchdown, you might save your job.
Here's the deal. So right now, as of right now, you have 1, 2.
You're not trying to convince someone.
You have 3 nationally televised games.
That can all be changed. Can't those be flexed?
That's why I said as of now.
Oh, okay.
Which games is that?
The Thanksgiving one won't be
Thanksgiving.
flexed.
Right.
Thanksgiving.
That's at noon though, right?
Well, it's still not. That's a national game. That's a Thursday game.
Right. That won't be flexed.
Yeah. That's a national game. That's set.
Actually,
no, 5. The 49er game is a 325 kick. That's a national game. You play the Vikings on a Monday night.
That's gonna stay.
December 16th. And you have the Seahawks, which that's the day after Christmas game.
So the whole nation gets to watch us get whooped up on, is what you're basically saying.
So I'm saying, I think those games draw the ire of the people upstairs. And if they get their asses kicked in those games, there's no shot.
Those games, because they're nationally televised, you'll have a national media, and you know how this organization
that's what I'm saying.
Likes to capitulate to what the national media perceptively tells the world about us.
But the only one where we're solo is the Monday night game, right?
Yes. No. The Seahawks game is.
You mean the only game that day? You're saying?
Yeah, the only game that day.
No, the Seahawks game is by itself.
Okay.
In fact, that's a Thursday night game.
Okay.
So what? There's 2 Monday night football games when the Bears play the back game.
The Bears are on the ABC game.
Oh, so people will be turning to the other one. Good job. Way to go, NFL. You're going to win somewhere. I mean,
look, the second Minnesota game or the first?
The second one. We got Minnesota next week.
Right, here. Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's in Minnesota?
No, that's here.
That's here. Okay, I will say this about the Bears. In terms of positively, I thought that the offense moved better. The execution was better. There seemed to be more purposefulness from play to play, which I think helped a little bit. I still think there's a disconnect with getting DJ Moore involved that takes advantage of all his skills, not just his run after catch skills. I like the usage of both running backs. I think that helped out a lot, and I think that will help Swift be more fresh as the season wears on, although the season is not going anywhere. I think it helped the offensive line hit somebody. That run that Swift made to get the touchdown. You saw
Braxton
Braxton.
Jones.
Great
Yeah,
block by Braxton Jones.
yeah. And like, granted, he's outweighing the dude probably about 60, 70
So what? But
pounds.
he got
But you
out
got
there and
him in
made the
space,
block. Yeah.
right? You got him
Yeah.
in space, and he took care of business, and that helps because on that sack, that first sack, that at the end of the game, towards the end of the game, when we got the ball with our last drive, that first sack, Braxton got bum rush.
He got
Oh no, second one, I think. Yeah,
It was a straight bull rush. And it was
yeah,
nothing.
Rashawn
Nothing he could
Gary.
do.
Yeah. And so clearly he still hasn't worked on stopping power rushes. Anyway, there were a lot of positive things I saw. I still, Caleb, I know he's a rookie. Some of these passes that shouldn't be as difficult to complete, sometimes the accuracy is still wanting at times, but I felt like he played a little bit better in rhythm and a bit more like where he likes to play. I felt like he was in more control. I feel like he felt he was in more control. He didn't seem as overwhelmed trying to be perfect for the entire game. He played a little more unfettered. I'll put it that way. Defensively, clearly Billings makes a huge difference because people are just running up the gut on us like it's nobody's business. That being said, the defense showed a lot of resiliency, which it has pretty much all year. Um, Secondary proved once again that it's a strength of the defense, even though they allow some big plays. But um, I think they were able to hunker down when they needed to. I think the tackling, for the most part, I didn't see a lot of missed tackles, maybe some broken tackles, but I didn't see a lot of missed tackles. So those are things that I saw that are positive and that makes me think that the Bears, outside of maybe a couple of games remaining, should be able to be in most games. I just don't know where the confidence level is with this team in terms of them finishing strong. I feel like it's a regression to last year where we letting games slip out our hands or we're not quite certain how to win or how to close out. And I don't know that we're going to see a strong closeout like earlier this year. I thought we were winning games that we shouldn't have won earlier this year. The Tennessee game. I think there's another game too where it felt like, we were in the Houston games. Sometimes I felt like we were better, we had more confident way of closing out games, and I don't think that's there now, and I don't know if that'll be recaptured. But other than that, I don't know what else to say about this team.
You don't think this game could give you something?
I think
you went from getting blown out last week. I mean, you just didn't show up against New England last week.
Right.
To this,
I think that
I think that it's something to build. At least
making the change
within that locker room,
brought a different energy.
Within that locker room, I think it's at least
Sure.
something to build on. At least that they have to think that you got 7 more weeks of this thing to go. So they gotta build on something. It's a long time.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't dis. I think you're grasping at straws, and you may get a straw too. I just don't know that you're going to get the straw in time enough to finish your drink. If they were playing
I don't use straws.
if they were playing teams closer to where they are, I'd feel better. Like, let's say New England and the Cardinals were the next 2 games up. I'd feel a lot better going into those games. I'd feel like, man, we got a really good chance to win those games, even if they were on the road. But considering the teams that we're playing and how well they're playing and have been playing most of the year, and how important it is for them to make sure they don't lose this game, because everyone is at this point here on out is looking at the Bears as this is a win we have to have. We can't afford to have this loss. So that it's
That's true.
It's a different dynamic that we're facing in terms of the opponents. Like sometimes we're so focused, and I get it. You only can be concerned about your own organization, your own team. That being said, just because we made some headway doesn't mean that that's necessarily going to translate against the other team because they've got their own thing that they're doing too. Watching Seattle play San Francisco today, San Francisco couldn't close that game out, and that was a game they needed. And Seattle's a game they needed. So they have a bit, 3 teams are 5-5 in that division. Do you think when Seattle and San Francisco play the Bears, they're going to be like, ignoring the Bears. No, they can't afford to ignore the Bears.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. Like none of these teams can afford to just kind of sleep on the Bears or overlook them because of who else they have to play and where they're at and what it means in terms of getting into the playoffs and or positioning for at least a home game in the playoffs. So yeah, we're in a bit of a pickle, as they would say.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Main thing that I've noticed though, at least today, that I left with, because I know you saying like take what we saw today and how did it translate moving forward. We just still not explosive, and I know that comes with time, but like we dominated time of possession today. Like Green Bay had what I know at one point in like the first half they only had 3 possessions, and it's like 2 or 3 plays they already in the damn red zone. It's like it takes us a long time to score. I mean, to even get in position to score. And I mean, it's same old Bears. I mean, same old, same old. Like it's just
We feel like when they need to move the ball, when they know they need to move the ball,
it comes with ease.
it just happens. Yeah, yeah. It's no problem. You know, we don't have that, and I don't know if that's a sense of urgency. It can't be talent.
Like
Count.
crazy enough. Like even the last drive where we got in the field goal range, it felt like we was moving the ball tremendously, but we only got into 46-yard range. It's like it felt like we but like it felt in the moment like, damn, we moving the fuck out this ball, but we really ain't get that far downfield.
Well, I mean, having a 3rd and 19.
True, true. And maybe that's what
Yeah,
because the first 2 started as sack.
yeah.
So like the third 19, then the next play after that was what, like 20 some yards to Doomsday again. And then the next play was to Allen for a first down. And then it was stalled after that.
Well, we did have an explosive run with Swift,
Yeah.
and that was good. And for whatever
That's all
reason,
our explosive plays.
when we do the play action off of our runs, we're not challenging downfield as much. And the other issue is young Caleb is not as accurate downfield as he needs to be. That one pass to Odunze, and it looked like Odunze got held a little bit, but it was still like longer than it should have been for the rest of the game because he dove to get it. It looked like he hurt his hip a little bit or around his pelvis region. He laid out to try and get it. It's like, dude, you can't keep missing. Then there was one pass he threw. It's just like, so that's part of the issue. I think too. We play behind the sticks too much. It'll be 2nd and 2, and then there'll be offsides or
Mm-hmm.
legal procedure. Now it's 2nd and 7.
Yeah.
You take a sack or there's a holding call, or now it's 2nd and 20. It's 3rd and 2, and it's another illegal procedure. Now it's 3rd and 6, and or something happens and you lose yards, you get sacked or the ball, and now it's 3rd and 19. That happened on the last drive. You just mentioned that. So playing behind the sticks like that, you're going to make a team that's already tentative more conservative about their approach because they don't want to make it worse. It's kind of how we're playing with the mindset of let's not make it worse than what it is. And the Bears are much better. Most teams would be, but the Bears were much better when they were playing, ahead of the chains or at least in pace with the chains. Once they start getting behind, it was like, yep, here we go. And then that mindset, okay, here we go. If we're saying it, they got to be thinking it at least because they're living it, they're experiencing it, they're in the middle of it. Some teams, once you're really good, you could be like the Packers. A lot of these guys have played together now for 2 or 3 years. This iteration of the Packers. Jordan Love's been there. This is what his fifth year as a pro, 4th or 5th year as a pro. They all understand the system. They understand things, so they can play a lot more unfettered. We see them attacking because there's the confidence. We're not playing with confidence, just plain and simple. And when you don't play with confidence, you're playing tentatively. the results are going to be incremental at best, or inconsistent to some degree, or very limited because you're not challenging anything because you're not playing with that sense of freedom that you should have or that you would want to have. And that's a big difference right now. And that's hard. It's hard to be playing like that because what ends up happening is you start creating um, your own nightmare, so to speak, where okay, we got to be really careful so we don't make a mistake. And so you play so careful that you can't make a mistake. And then when you make a mistake, you're not able to get from underneath it because you've been playing too careful. So you're playing tight, and so you're creating your own dilemma. It's a self-effacing dilemma. So eh, the Bears literally have been their own worst enemy this year. They really have. Most of the most of their problems have been self-inflicted, and that's organizational. It's not because other teams are just kicking your ass and dominating you. You're contributing. They're like, oh, okay, if you're gonna help us beat you, cool. I'll let you. I'm not gonna get in your way. you know, and that's what we've been facing. And by we, I mean the Bears.
That's we, yes.
Mhm.
um, do you think you brought up being that being cautious?
Mhm.
Do you think that's part of the problem with this staff developing Caleb Williams? They're asking him to be too cautious.
It is so schizophrenic that this is the same organization that gave him the playbook in February that did not bring in a veteran quarterback that he could learn or watch from. So basically, they're putting all of this on him and saying, you're our guy. We're gonna win with you, and we're gonna help you as best we can. I'm getting you all this skill talent around you, so you have people to get the ball to. You got a great defense, so even if you make a mistake or two, that's fine. The defense to get the ball back. We're gonna be in every game. I'll give you a diverse running attack. All these things, and then at the same token, there are times where they say, "Be careful the ball. Don't turn the ball over," which of course you don't want to. But if he's having to be so careful in his mind, he's aside from everything that he has to learn as a rookie in terms of the NFL, he's also overthinking because he's worried. Okay, I can't take too many chances. I don't want to do that, and so you're you're giving him everything, but you tell him don't do too much. I'm gonna give you everything, but don't do too much. It's like pick a lane. And so yes, I think that they've created a lot of their own problems with him because he does seem he's not robotic like how Justin got robotic, but he's not the Caleb that was the creative free spirited that we saw at USC. And I think we saw a little bit.
Well, not all. We saw a little bit today.
Yes, I was going to say, I
Yeah.
think we got back to a little bit of that today. When they played the Jacksonville game in London, I think playing a team that was having its own problems helped, but there was a certain confidence level that seemed like it built from the week before when they won the game against Carolina. And it seemed like, okay, now he's playing a little more, free. And I, I don't know where it lost. I don't know when they got uberly conservative again. I don't know if it's because of Washington and what happened. And then again, Shane Waldron, some of the play calling, it's so there's no consistency with the message, I think. And I think the message keeps changing and it's confusing because it's like, well, if I'm supposed to do this, why you got me doing this now? And it's like, okay, it's like be careful, but don't overthink things. Attack the defense, but not until you really have to. It's like they don't press their advantage when they have the chance to press their advantage. They pull back, you know, and then they do other things. But I think that was before. I think today, at least, you know, I think Thomas did a better job of maintaining some continuity with the play calling and with what uh, Caleb was asked to do. I like the fact that they did a couple of RPOs and they had him running the ball upfield. If nothing else, it made the defense. The defense is going to have to think about that. And if anybody's
Yeah.
watching, anybody who because now it's like, okay, so what do the Bears look like now? Okay, so now when they in this set, it's possible that he might keep the ball and run with it, which means it may help out the next time the running back gets the ball. You know, make a little extra space in between how the defense plays the RPO, or it'll help where he fakes the handoff and then he can throw a pass and somebody's open. You know, which is some stuff that he was probably doing in college. You know, so it's things that he can do successfully. I think I saw more of an implementation of the things that Caleb may like to do, as opposed to prior to. I think it's the thing Shane Waldron wanted him to do.
Right, right.
So you think Caleb wants to run? Wants to use his legs?
I don't think he likes to run per se, but I think he likes the fact that he has a ball in his hands more, and it gives him a chance to make a decision that he's comfortable with, as opposed to holding the ball and having to depend on other people to help him make that decision. If I got to hold on to the ball and depend on you to get open, then that makes me a little bit more hesitant. As opposed to I got the ball, I can leverage things a little bit more, and not all the time, but just enough so I can keep the dogs off of me.
Minnesota visit Soldier Field Sunday. I'm making a bold prediction here. The Bears will beat the Minnesota Vikings Sunday. Heard it here first.
And what's your record on your bold predictions there? Just curious.
We don't keep complete track of that.
Okay, maybe we should.
I just think it's pretty good. That's all I'm saying.
So okay, so you feel this way strongly. Let's just delve into it a moment. Outside of just being a fan and having this feeling, this great feeling from this positive loss, what tangible or what empirical things can you point to that would let our viewers feel confident and echo your statement of a potential win next week?
I think the defense is going to come to play.
The same defense that can't really generate a sack. That defense you're talking about,
but the same defense that can contain receivers.
Receivers.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you take away the I know I'm sounding like Wani now, but you take away the 60-yard slip by Jalen Johnson. In that last Packers game, the Bears held Green Bay in check for the majority of this game. To that point, they had only given up 14 points. So,
but I felt like that was because they didn't have the ball.
Just my part. Yeah, that too. That too, but the Bears had to make some stops, and yes, they did bend a little bit today. But when they needed to make stops, they did. So I'm feeling confident they're gonna get in, they're gonna bunker down, and they're gonna be all right. I mean, the Bears play Minnesota all right. The last few years,
right. Okay.
So
I'm not too worried about it.
The defense has.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
The defense has,
not our offense, but the offense has, something to look at and say, okay, we got a little better today.
So what you saw today makes you confident that we can sustain that rush that Brian Flores is going to bring.
We'll see
what you saw today.
No. You just said you guaranteed to win. You heard it here first.
I did. I already did.
You just said Joe Namath.
I already did. I'm just
guaranteed to win.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Just like Joe Namath back in 1968, 69.
We'll see what happens.
Honestly,
Minnesota's defense is very good.
Going into today, I had a weird feeling that the Bears will win this game today. And God damn it, they should have. I don't know if it's happening the rest of the year.
I didn't think they were gonna win today. To be totally honest.
I just had a weird feeling because how the turn of events was going. It's just weird. It's like, you know what? This is the perfect game for them to.
But this game
the media off their back.
This game makes me feel like okay, they're at least moving in the right direction. Now organizationally, changes have to be made at the end of the season. They have to be made. But for sanity's sake in that locker room, they know that they have to build on this.
It's a
And
tall
so
task, but they got
I think
So
it can happen. Minnesota doesn't scare me. Now, that game that next Thursday on Turkey Day, that's a different
on a
story.
short week,
Those
on a short week on
dudes,
the road.
those guys are on a different level, man. They putting
Um,
50 on the board like every other week.
yeah, and it's not even the same way. They do it different
No,
ways.
no. This game, the last time they put 50 up, I think Jared
Goff
Goff
only
only had
threw 80
80
yards.
yards
Yeah.
passing. He threw for
85 yards
400
passing.
yards today.
Yep. You had to make up for that 5 interception game the week before
I'm saying, so yeah.
Facts.
that they still won.
Yeah.
um. Okay. So when the Bears wind down this season and end up having less victories than they did last year, was it safe to say that their main issue wasn't at the quarterback position?
Oh,
We are
that's a fact. We knew
yeah,
that from
we knew
jump.
that.
We knew
We
that
all
from
knew
jump.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We knew that.
So what? How? Well, I don't know that we can answer this question. How does this organization convince an A level coach to come here and have that coaching staff that's needed to come here and win?
Because
What?
you have that guy that everyone said was a generational quarterback
They're not.
one
They're
year
not.
1 year ago.
They're not looking at that no more though. Do they feel that way now? That's the question.
That's the question.
That's the question. You're going to
I think
assume
a
which the
good offensive mind is going to say, yeah, I know it got a little muddied up. I can fix that.
man. Mike Vrabel
That's
gonna be
what's
the
going to happen.
Bears' next coach.
I
Well,
think they're going to have to go offensive
he's
coordinator.
not going to fix the quarterback.
They're
Yeah,
gonna go.
you
The
know what? You know why they're going to go coordinate offensive coordinator or former head coach who's offensive coordinator, because they don't want to run the risk of having to fire another coordinator and
Well,
accidentally keep the head coach.
also that's their pattern.
No, that's just recently. For the
Yeah,
most part, up until
since Lovey,
Trustman,
since Lovey,
they had never.
Lovey was defense. Trestman was offense. John Fox was defense. Nagy was offense.
I'm saying that was up
Eberflus.
right. That was just
It's the pattern. You know
okay.
the
up until the
Bears running
2000s.
the patterns.
Yeah.
Well, even then, wait, Ditka was an offensive guy, and then they went three straight defense with Jerron.
He was. I think he was a special teams coach or something. He wasn't. He wasn't an offensive
But
coordinator.
when he got to the Bears, he was the offensive guy.
Mm.
He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything on the defensive side of the ball. I'll tell you that.
No, he wasn't. But I think he. It's like
Buddy,
if
they
you hired
said
Bill
Buddy would
Cowher
kick him out the room.
or John Harbaugh. Yeah.
Buddy would kick him out the room. So
Um,
yeah,
I think it's going to be hard to bring in. It's going to be hard to. It's going to be hard to get that top-notch coach
I don't think it's gonna be that
because
hard.
they're going to be looking at this organization as you guys. Dude, the amount of dysfunction that these Bears have just shown with the lights on them, it's going to give somebody cause to pause, and like especially if there are other opportunities that may seem better. We're thinking that the Bears are going to be they're going to be the only job that's open. It's usually
Okay,
always no less than 4 jobs almost every year.
I asked you
The
guys
Raiders
this.
job may be open.
I asked you guys this question. The Raiders aren't as dysfunctional as the Bears.
Yes and no at the same time.
I don't know about that.
It's a yes and no at the
The
same
only
time.
difference between the Bears and the Raiders is that the Raiders got a new stadium.
And I think the sales tax thing, isn't that different in Vegas or Nevada?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we talking about coaching. We talking about coaching right now.
And it's Vegas. Vegas, the new hotspot.
Yeah, they're yeah.
They gonna develop a winner at some point real soon. Watch and see.
And the other lure with Vegas
No,
is
they won't.
whoever
Yeah,
takes that job maybe taking a new quarterback when they get that job. That may be the other thing too. It could be
And the
Shador, or it
Bears,
could be Cam
the
Ward.
Bears have a generational quarterback. We've been saying that all show. It's
Hmm,
generational.
that's what we
hmm.
had. That's what we thought we had coming in. That's what we thought we had.
No, we didn't. We didn't think
Oh,
that.
man.
No,
He's
I'm saying that,
generational.
that's what I'm saying. That's what they were saying.
He's
But
generational.
no one's saying that now. Now it's the talent. That's all they talk about, the talent. But
Let me ask
I
you guys
don't
this.
know.
We talked about this last week after the show, but you had some time to think about it. Everyone talks about how the issues with the Bears stem from the top.
Mhm.
What is it that the McCaskey family, George McCaskey, what is it, and Virginia, what is it that they are or aren't doing that's making the Bears be this organization of dysfunction?
They
Can I- can-
they I'm sorry, go ahead, Smoke.
What they are doing is they're telling every coach on the offensive side of the ball that they have to run the universal playbook. It's just hard to believe
You
that
can't.
every coach that comes to Chicago
You
stinks.
gotta use this book right here.
It's just hard to believe that every coach is bad in Chicago. But I digress. Go ahead, Gio.
That may very well be true, but in line with what you're saying, I think there's a mandate on the type of personality
They
they
want
want
it.
representing the
Mhm.
organization,
I
and
agree with that.
they go too much on the. And I'm not saying I, I'm not saying Dan Campbell wouldn't have been the type of person as a person. I'm not talking about in terms of fiery coach. I'm not saying that's the thing. I think it's more so this person has to be a nice person, a good guy kind of thing. And they hired too many nice guys. I mean, even Lovey was a nice guy, in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
You
He
know,
had a personality though that
well, they got lucky with that. But what I'm saying is, there's a certain
the
demeanor.
players love that guy. You
Yeah, there's
talk
a
you talk to
certain
his guys,
yeah, without a doubt. There's a
they
certain
were
demeanor.
all in for him.
Like Tony Dungy would have been a Bears hire. His demeanor and how he comports himself is something that they probably that's kind of the baseline of what they would like in terms of their head coach. Someone with that kind of demeanor. Andy Reid would have been another type kind of person with that demeanor. Um, I think someone like Jim Harbaugh would is too unpredictable for them because Jim's not a real fiery guy. Some fire brimstone type kind of stuff. He's energetic,
He's
but
just
he's
odd.
quirky. Right?
Yeah.
He's quirky and energetic, and that quirky energy is too unpredictable. I think they like personalities that they can understand. And if you're too much of an iconoclastic personality, someone like Dion would scare them off. I'm not saying Dion wants to become a head coach in the NFL, but I'm saying someone like Dion.
That's not happening.
Right, exactly. But it's because his personality is too.
and and not because the Bears don't want him. He ain't coming here.
No, no, I understand.
Even if let's say the NFL was an option for him,
Right, no, no, no doubt. But I'm just saying
no,
that's the
that ain't
kind of
happening.
person that they don't. Someone with that type of personality, and it's not just at the coaching position. I think it's with the GMs as well. I think it's with some of the players that they bring in. A lot of the players they bring in, it's like we don't want what's the brother that had all the guns when the Bears went to Super Bowl the last time, the defensive tackle.
Tank
It was
Johnson.
they don't want another Tank Johnson incident. And then the other guy that they got is a free agent from San Francisco. They got him as soon as they got him, they let
Um,
him go.
McDonald.
He had a potential, something McDonald. He had a potential
Yeah.
domestic something, whatever. They don't want anything, any sniffs of that. That's why when the young man who came out of Georgia, who's with the Philadelphia Eagles now,
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter would have been the quintessential three technique that Eberflus needed for this defense. There's no way in hell the Bears are going to draft. I knew that. So I was like, no, he's got too much history in a negative fashion. So that's the reason, to your point, which goes into the universal, if not playbook, the universal handbook of these type of players, coaches, and people we want representing the Bears. They're so concerned, they're so heavily concerned about their squeaky clean image or whatever, that I think it's hampering them when it comes to finding people who may have a challenging personality.
Clean image. Ain't nobody thinking about the goddamn Chicago Bears.
But
I'm just
right. But you mentioned earlier when you said George McCaskey and Virginia McCaskey. Virginia is what, 90 something years old?
She's 100 and something.
Okay, her ideas about what the coaches should sort of kind of be might be entrenched from half a century ago. I'm not even trying to be funny. It literally maybe from
there's that. If you think about it, there's a huge difference between Mike Ditka and then everyone else that's been hired after him.
Yeah, there has been, but I think Ditka was still respectful of Virginia.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I don't think anyone would come in and just not be respectful. I think that he was just this bombastic personality that they wanted to just go opposite of what of how he acted. If that makes sense.
Maybe. I mean, he was hired by Papa Bear, so I don't think they had an issue with that. I think
no. I'm just saying though, he was out there.
Yeah, but he stayed for a while. He was what, 12 years, give or take?
Yeah, and then I'm sure they said when he left, said we don't want someone like him. And you saw that in the hires of guys like Dick Duran.
They're very bland people.
Lovey.
Man, do they
even once that was
Wani, they're from the same they're from the same area, so there were similarities,
right?
But Wani wasn't as I don't think he challenged them as Ditka would. Just my opinion on that.
He had a clean cut image too. I think he came from a winning organization, and like you said, him being from Pennsylvania, it's our kind of people that we understand his background, and I think they're comfortable with people who are conservative, not. I don't mind. I think even if the coach was fiery, but just not someone.
And at the end of the day, does that even matter?
To them, it does.
No. I mean, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it matters. So I told y'all, no team wins without personality, man. That's the problem in Chicago. We have no character.
No.
Is this goody two-shoe, like good boy mentality? Look, people already turning on DJ Moore because he's showing the pout a little bit. Like, man, we need personality.
Well, you got it in Caleb. He paints his fingernails. And I'm not knocking him. I'm saying that's a different kind of thing.
No comment.
In the NFL.
No comment.
I'm just saying that for them that might be wilding out.
No
I'm not
comment.
knocking Caleb. I could care less. But might be something. That might be something.
That ain't the person. Look, if he was doing that and acting like Dennis Rodman, okay. but he ain't acting like Dennis Rodman.
Well, it's still early.
Okay, so we ain't gonna win until we get that Caleb.
It's still
him early. Cussing them mothers out on the sideline, doing wild shit, partying all that. Look, I mean, we just don't have any personality. Like nowhere.
Jalen's got personality.
Who?
Jalen Johnson, he's got personality.
You barely know he on the field.
No,
I'm
but
not saying he's
you
not
hear him
doing his
talk.
job.
You hear? I'm saying though, he does talk out.
does.
He speaks out.
Yeah, he does.
He speaks out about what's going on.
That's why I was shocked.
Do we
I wasn't
see
thinking
that
he
on
was-
the field?
Yeah, he talks him on the field. I saw. Yeah, every time he's D'ing people, he's going at him. The secondary shows.
Yeah.
To your point,
You know-
the secondary shows
yeah.
personality.
You know who show the most personality?
Tyreek Stevenson.
Well, that fool too. But but Kyler Gordon with his Spider-Man bullshit.
Yeah.
He showed the most
Like I said,
personality.
the secondary, and that's the best unit on the squad.
Like we
They
ain't
showed
got no
personality.
Akeem Hicks. That was personality. Somebody that's gonna get through that, gonna do like Sweat get a sack. He just go back to it's like back. Man, do something, man. What a kid that who did the somersault and the karate kick and all that bullshit and got the penalty that time. Where he at? Hey, where he at, man?
I forgot about that. I watched
Hey,
that. They played that game on NFL Network during the summer. Oh man, I think he got cut the next day.
You don't do that around here, son.
Hey, hey, man, where he at, man?
Oh man.
Look, we just need life. Like Caleb, yes, he has a different type of personality though. And he's the quarterback. Like it's a little
That's the person that should be scared the most. He's the one that facing the organization. That's the one they probably don't want to have, anything.
Yeah, no,
extra.
I get that. I get
So
that. But
that's the only thing.
As far as what this organization from the top has done,
Yeah.
that's been in something of an impediment to their success.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, because we keep getting the same scenarios seems to happen. It seems like everything keeps repeating itself.
everything
Why?
is bland. Everything is bland.
Why would you hire Trustman over Bruce Arians? Bruce Arians is going to tell you where to stick it.
Because I don't even know. I think that was Phil Emery.
But it's the point. It's like, yes, it's organizational. We want these type of people in here as opposed to those. We want them instead of those.
It's like who do we think?
By the way, the Chargers have it's tied with 30 seconds to go. I'm trying to see what the ball is.
Cincinnati's kicker missed 2 field goals.
30 seconds to go. Who has the ball? Who has the ball?
Chargers have the ball.
Now I bet you they try to get as close as they possibly can.
Let's see.
To help their field goal kick.
Cincinnati has 2 timeouts though too.
Okay, they are on I think they're on their own 45. It looks like.
So for them, they would need to run more plays to try to get them using it wide open in field goal range. Oh, I'm ahead of y'all.
Yeah, you're ahead.
so where are they at? You said
They're at the 30 right now.
The 30. Are they gonna run another play to get a little closer?
Let's see what happens.
That's a 47-yard field.
But he went out of bounds though, so they need to run another play.
Just
inside the 30. And he went out of bounds.
But are they gonna try
how much time is left?
Or they're just gonna kneel it.
They got 2 timeouts left, so 26 seconds left.
The team that has the ball has 2 timeouts remaining.
No, the Chargers. I mean the Bengals.
Cincinnati just took a timeout. No, they probably trying to bait them.
So my point is, the Chargers, are they just going to kneel the ball, or are they going to try and get a few more yards forward? And then this is a first down, so you can go forward a couple of plays and then hit in the ground.
Well, they've got more yards than the Bears did though. No, they're 2 yards off.
Once again, are they going to try and go forward?
I want to see what happens here.
Okay.
I want to see.
Or they just go settle and just kneel down where they want him to kick it.
I want to see what happens here.
They didn't spike it. So the
Well, they
Chargers have
just took
Chargers have one timeout
McConkey out.
remaining. Chargers have one timeout remaining.
okay, so they can move forward without worrying about the
Housework.
clock on.
Oh, Dobbins just ran into the house.
Thank you.
But that didn't happen for us on the next play. Our guy got stopped.
My point is, you try. That run play that the Bears did was a bullshit run play. It was the position.
This one was too. They just didn't execute. You gotta see it. He should have been tackled.
Hold on, let's see. I'm about to see it now.
You know they're running.
Looked like a team tried to win and they won. That's all I'm saying, as opposed to settling. Yeah, that laugh tells me everything I need to know.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a very good run.
Yeah, I ain't saying I'm right. Just don't think I'm wrong on this one.
Let's get off of football, man. Did y'all catch the Tyson Jake Paul fight on Friday night?
Waste my time to watch some old man fight some no Ben. Not even has been a no Ben. I never was.
Number one, the fight broke Netflix. Because all I heard,
that's not too hard.
All I heard was that nobody could watch the fight because it was buffering the entire night. I was in a place. I was at my buddy's house, and we didn't have any issues. It was fine the entire night. So I don't know what that was about.
He got super duper internet or something.
I don't know.
I was at home. Then I went to a bar, and it was buffering at the bar. So I'm like, oh, that just must be the bar. And then when I went back home, I wasn't up at the bar that long. I went back home when they was doing it at home. On social media, that's what everybody talking about.
That's all that was said. Yeah, they couldn't see it. But I ain't gonna lie. I put a dub. I put a dub on Tyson at plus 220.
Gave me that $20. You could have gave me that $20.
You could have paid off my bowling.
I would have told you that shit was, man.
I mean, they did a very good sales job with it, man. I mean,
man, I'm mad. I'm disappointed that Jake Paul ain't knock his ass out.
What good would come of that, man?
He was being nice.
He was.
Because Mike old as hell.
He could have, and he looked it,
Yeah.
But Mike is 60.
Yes,
he's not 60, is he?
He's 58. He's 58.
Man, but he looked old as hell out there.
Man, he did.
His mouthpiece kept falling out, which was tripping me out. Like,
he kept biting his glove.
Keep falling out. That's because his mouthpiece kept falling out.
Yeah.
So he was using his glove to keep it in.
But so yeah, I don't know. People were saying it was a terrible fight. Nobody paid for that fight,
and that's true.
Yeah, so nobody should be mad.
Pay for whatever time they lost in their lives that they can't get back.
Well, he wasn't doing that on a Friday night anyway. What else was going on?
I respect him for he withstood. What was
he
it,
withstood.
8 rounds?
He went 8 rounds and he got his $20 million. Good for him.
Wow.
Good for him.
What a highway ripoff.
For Jake Paul really to just take it easy on him.
Yeah. There were times where Jake Paul
could have knocked Mike out.
He could have forced that issue, and he didn't. And I'm glad he did.
A bully for him.
I'm glad he did because he had the opportunity. He definitely had that opportunity.
Hail Mary situation. Let's see if they execute this different.
Okay. Bengals Chargers. Chargers are back. Wait a minute. Do they have no timeouts? So then the Bengals really should try to get some yards here, right?
Oh yeah, you behind. You
Oh
behind. You
yeah,
behind.
and they did. Of course, they went to Chase, who was triple covered. Don't give it up, Smoke.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. But yeah, back to the fight though. It was funny to me. It was comical. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I
Now
laughed.
the fight of the night was the
The
chicks
women.
that fought, man. They beat the hell out of each other. It was like a Rocky fight. No lie. I don't know what their names are. So what were their names?
I forgot the woman got holes though. The one woman.
Yeah, even though she had the cut opened up because she got head butted. Um, but yeah, that was the fight of the night, no doubt about it. And then big shout out to the Ring Girls. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. They definitely did a good job with that. Glenn, just go look up Ring Girls. You'll be very happy.
Play happy yet on your
I'll
end?
be happy.
It's happening now.
Okay.
That was a terrible pass.
Two things though. He didn't. They sent what it looked like. They sent six,
Yeah, they put pressure on them,
which
but
almost,
the Chargers didn't let anyone behind them.
which almost though could have backfired. 'Cause Higgins got two hands on that ball,
But shit, they had
but he came through
they
him
had a
though.
bunch of people there.
Yeah, he came through him. They held on. Chargers. I mean, Bengals lose another one score game.
Wow.
Man,
That game's
it's a long
been
season.
crazy all year long.
All right. So yeah, decent sports weekend. Decent sports weekend. Let's go to picks. And last week, let me see. Glenn, you were 3-0
Again?
the week before.
We,
0-3 this week.
Damn.
wow.
Who
That
did
hurts.
who did you have?
That
Yeah,
hurts my heart.
Texas at
Let me
minus
get some
13 and a
college.
half. Yeah, LSU at -4.
Yeah, they lost
How did
outright.
how did how did they
Damn.
get beat by Florida like that?
Man, LSU is crazy.
And then you had the Packers
The
minus
Rowdy.
6. Um,
See, that's why I hate home games. I always hate those.
let's see. I went 2-1 this week. Illinois with a big win over Michigan State. Penn State 49-10 win over Purdue. And my loss was the Packers at -6. The Bears, Bears held serve. So yeah, good for them. And Smoke, you went 1-2 this week. I
Catching up to
think
me,
you've
man.
lost
In
the
reverse.
yeah, you took the Jags plus the 13. They got whooped by
Got they
They,
crushed.
Detroit.
you can multiply it by 3 and they still lost by like double digits.
Do that shit again.
And the Falcons were +2. They got beat this week. You did win the Colts game. So you
To
are
the
still in first
Jets.
place though at 14-8-2. I'm in second at 12-10-2. Glenn, you're bringing up the rear at 10-13-1.
Just
Glenn,
got
who you
500.
got?
Man, this is ridiculous. I'm gonna take these hot ass Lions, man. -7. on the road against the Colts. The Chiefs just lost, so I think they need to take it out on the Panthers. So I'm taking them on the road minus 10.5. And I almost wanted to take the Bears, but somehow I get a feeling they're gonna screw me up. I'm gonna take uh I'm gonna take the Seahawks and pick them at home against the Cardinals.
Big win over the 49ers today.
Yeah. So Chiefs, Cardinals, and
No, Seahawks.
I'm sorry, yeah, right. Chiefs, Seahawks, and Lions.
All right. I feel like since I did so well with college, um, I'm going to stick
I
with
couldn't
college.
find a lot of the ones being the lines weren't really out yet.
Lines aren't out.
I could find a lot of lines that were done yet
It's still early.
for a few of them. Not if we're using, yeah, which is weird because usually they're out by now.
Let's see. Uh, yeah, you're right.
It's weird.
All right, we're going back to the pros. Uh, let's see. Let's take the Broncos -3 in Vegas.
The Broncos aren't they getting three?
No, they're giving 3.
The, oh, the
Uh,
Broncos. I thought you said Browns. I'm sorry.
um, I'm gonna take the Wow, the Eagles minus the 3.
Man, you taking oh
And and you know what? I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna take the Bears plus the 5.
Yeah, I thought about it too, but that's just let's start believing in them fools. Just turn around, lose by 21.
Smoke, who you got?
two of the picks you picked, but I'm gonna switch them.
Wait, wow, you ass taking it? You just I'm gonna go opposite end so I can.
That's probably the smart thing to do.
I'm gonna switch 'em. I'm gonna go Pittsburgh minus the 3, Cleveland, uh, Tampa -3 versus New York. And I am going to stick with the Denver -3 versus the Raiders. You know what? Take that off. Take that off. I'm gonna go Detroit minus the 7.
-7. All right, gotcha. I know the Cowboys are missing a quarterback and some other players, but they're getting
Yeah,
10 against Washington.
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot.
That's interesting. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I want to thank everyone for listening. We greatly appreciate it. You can catch us at Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Almost said Stitcher again. I keep saying that. Or wherever you find your favorite podcast. You can also catch us at hp53productions.com. There you'll find a link to our podcast and the Super Duper podcast hosted by Rob Griggs. And you can also catch us on our YouTube page at HP53 Productions on YouTube. So definitely check us out on there. Yo, Glenn,
Yep.
please take us out.
Hey, like we always say on Easy Smoke in the Gym, we ain't saying we're right. Just don't think we're wrong.
I think you might have been wrong.
About what? My picks? That's about it.
The tick.
Catch you next week.